Hey guys, today we're taking the starter out of a Mazda Protege 5. This is a 2-liter engine. Starter's located down here. We have to remove this from the battery, this right here, or maybe we'll be able to sneak the battery out. And I also already took this part out. There's a 10mm here, 10mm here. And you come over here, there's a 10mm, you can use an extension. I'm using a impact gun, it's much easier. You want to take these out right here. It's really cold out, so I'm using thick gloves, so my hands aren't going to be as agile. Now see this right here, how it's taped? That's a very common issue with these Mazdas and some Fords. The rubber and just rips. So you can tape it up or replace it, whichever is of your liking. This one's already at that point. And then if you come back in here, you can use you should use a Phillips, but this is loose. So I'm just gonna loosen it like that right there. Then we want to get this clip off done. Don't worry about memorizing all these wires and stuff. Just remember this 3 to plug back up. You can't mismatch them. And you're going to have this one right here, this clamp. And you get some of these wires and this plastic piece right here. Try to get that. Alright. Okay, there's a clamp back here. Get that clamp off. Wiggle with it a bit. Try to be gentle on the piece. Then we got a vacuum line right here. Let's see if we can get that off very gently. It's hard to see back in there. Oh, okay, that's what we gotta do. Here's the hose. Pop that off right there. It's hard to see. Wiggle this off. Let's loosen it a bit more. We want to get it as slack as possible. Easy removal. And if you are having troubles with it, you can take this sway bar off. There's a screwdriver too. You have to. This one's on there pretty good. It's very cold out here too, so the rubber shrinks a lot more than the metal. Okay, looks like we got some more vacuum lines here on the back. Looks like if you wanted to, you could probably just remove this whole piece. 10mm. There we go. That's much easier. That way we don't have to take the rubber band off. They would have a chance of breaking. Alright, that's all of it. Check your throttle body. If it's really dirty, go and just take it off and clean it. And that process can be found on YouTube. Alright, so as I said earlier, you get that 10mm there. And you have one here. Just use your extensions. You got one here. Take this crystal on there a little bit. Okay, the plastic piece pops off right here. So, I guess if we didn't have to take that bolt off, we might have to still get a good angle on it. Then, go ahead and take the battery off so we can spot the starter. There we go, it's right there. So, I guess we'll go ahead and take this battery off. That's what it recommends. Yep, 10mm here. 2mm there. Make sure to organize all your nuts and bolts. Alright, so we get this piece off right here. Slide it off. Okay, terminals off. Probably should disconnect your battery in the beginning, but for a car this age, it really doesn't matter. Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and take this piece off. See what size it is. It's a big one. Alright, so 17mm, using a cobalt impact. These are Craftsman ratchet sockets, so they don't like to fit on here too well because of that ring. It was giving me trouble. So next time I'll remember to bring my impact sockets. It's crazy, if I don't want to fit on here at all. Alright, should be a smaller impact. Take care of it. Some of that cobalt, it's very picky with what you can put on it. Right off. This thing has 300 and something foot-pounds to it, so it really does the job. It's a Matco 3/8. Cool thing is it takes DeWalt batteries. And those batteries are really reliable for the most part, and you can get Chinese versions of it, which are much cheaper and still hold up, depending on what brand you get. Okay, there's a plastic cover. We'll just set it over here. Battery. Try to set it off over here. And you got 1, 2, 3, 4 2mm bolts. Gently lift this up. It's like you gotta pull this off right here. It really doesn't want to come off. Careful with the nuts and bolts. Don't want to lose any. All 4 of those bolts are the same size, so you don't have to worry about mixing them up. Okay, so now we got most of the parts off. Now we're going to locate the bolts. From what I've been told, the bolts that connect to the starter are in the same spot as the manual. There's 2 bolts on the starter. So one on top and one there. I'm going to show you underneath how to get the bottom one out. At first I thought it was the big ones. Sometimes they do that. Turns out it was just that. Now I'm going to go underneath and show you what I did. This is how I have the car jacked up. Make sure you do it safely. Alright, see the starter, see that hole right there? That one right there, the bottom hole, that hole, and then on the very top, the one he just took. Those, I believe, are the only 2 holes. I'm copying what's on the new starter. And then there's your solenoid, the rubber piece. There's a 13 or a 12mm underneath. You gotta loosen that nut and take that wire off. And there's be a smaller wire behind that. See this metal piece? 2 holes on each side. It's connected here. No, to that right there. Take those bolts out and twist it to the side, like I did, so you can get your starter right out. This is like the easiest way you can get it done. It's going to be hard getting those bolts out, but it's worth it. Alright, so we're going to have to loosen this wire that goes down in there. So there's enough room to pull that wire off the starter. This one as well. These are really old, so they're not really able to be saved. Doing this should give you some more. This one right here too. And I'll check that one here, see if there's another one. Okay, now I'm going to go underneath and disconnect the wires out the starter, see if we can pull it out. Okay, so I got the starter right here, and you got to take that 13mm bolt off, and there's going to be a rubber cover you pull off, and then you pull the metal tab off.